Here are the 4 things you won't believe actually happened. First is Oliver Cromwell, who was executed after he died. Back in the 17th century, Oliver Cromwell, the Lord Protector of England, suffered from malaria and kidney stones, which eventually resulted to his death. Following his death, the country decided to ditch the Republic and called Charles II from exile so as to restore the monarchy. However, King Charles II had a serious grudge on Oliver Cromwell. This was because Oliver Cromwell was one of the commissioners who signed for the execution of his father, King Charles I. And so King Charles II was dedicated to getting his revenge on Oliver Cromwell, even though he was dead. But how would he do this? Well, he ordered for him to be dug up from his grave. And next, he was hanged on chains for an entire day, with the aim of shaming him. He was then decapitated, and his head was stuck on a spike, which was hanged on the roof of Westminster Hall in London. It spent there 30 years before being blown away by strong wind, ending up at a random place. It then got picked by someone, and it spent the next 250-odd years being bought and sold by different people, until it was finally buried in 1960. Second is the Glass King. Charles VI of France suffered from a condition called glass delusion that made him believe he was made of glass. At some point, he would even tell people to stay away from him because he believed they would accidentally break him if they touched him. Sometimes, he even wrapped himself in blankets before sitting on a chair to prevent his butt from breaking. At least, that's what he thought. Third is Mike the Headless Chicken. Lloyd Olson, an American farmer, had a chicken farm, and one day, he wanted to have chicken for dinner. So he went inside the chicken coop and picked one which was named Mike. He cut off its head, expecting it to just bleed to death in a few seconds, just like normal chicken. But to his surprise, it didn't. It instead remained conscious. And because it didn't die, the farmer knew it was time to make some cash. He left the farm and made a tour, showcasing Mike's ability to move without a head. Of course, people paid money to watch. I mean, it was quite interesting seeing a moving headless chicken, so it was worth the money. Doctors made research to find out why a headless chicken would still be conscious, and the answer was found in the positioning of Mike's brain. See, Mike's brain was located at the back of his head, and when the farmer cut the head off, the brain was left intact. This was followed by blood clotting around the wound. That stopped the bleeding, thus enabling Mike to live. Also, the farmer used to feed Mike through an eyedropper so that he didn't starve. However, in 1947, having spent an impressive period of 1.5 years without a head, Mike finally died. And lastly is King Henry I, who died from eating too many lampreys. The King of England was known to have enjoyed lampreys. He found them so tasty, but this was about to be a problem. See, lampreys were not recommended to be eaten in large volumes due to the fact that they had toxins. However, this didn't matter to King Henry I. He was never willing to stop eating a bulk of these fish. He is believed to have died on the night after eating too many of them. The lampreys were too toxic that even the physician who extracted King Henry's brain in a post-mortem is said to have become ill from an infection he probably got from having contact with the king's brain. The illness got the better of him, and he sadly passed away only moments later.